Hello, beautiful Earthlings. Light of Elaine here. Thank you for listening and tuning in to my channel today. Today, we're going to talk about the eclipse energies, both the lunar and the solar, that's taking place starting tomorrow. The solar lunar eclipse, new moon in Scorpio. And then in 2 weeks, November 8th, we have the blood lunar eclipse in Taurus. I am an intuitive healer, a soul coach, an energy alchemist, and I am here to help you remove energetic blockages, both spiritually, physically, emotionally, in any capacity that get away from you living your most fulfilling life. And thank you for visiting again. Much appreciated. So, we are in eclipse season again. From 6 months ago, we had the first set of eclipse, and this time is in reverse. We are working with the South Node and then the North Node, and I'll explain what that is. So we have collective and individual North and South Nodes in our chart. Most of us know about our sun sign, maybe moon, rising, and so forth. But our North Node is the direction that we're headed, where we need to apply most of the new lessons and what we need to really focus on as a collective, as a group. So tomorrow we have a new moon in Scorpio, which is a partial solar eclipse taking place. So that's when the moon overshadows the sun. We won't be seeing it really here. We feel the energies, but it's not a typical new moon where we would like set intentions and start a brand new lunar cycle. This specific one is indicative of what we started 6 months ago. And Scorpio is a very intense sign, and it is about the underworld, our shadows, death and rebirth, transformation, going really inward. It's a water sign. So it really does feel very intensely, very passionate sign. Also mysterious, secretive, and so forth. So we have been feeling a lot of planets go direct. We recently just had Saturn go direct. These past few days now, it's been I think 3 days. And Saturn has been in retrograde for almost 6 months. And we've been learning a lot of lessons. Saturn's like that parent, that judge, the critic, the one who makes sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are squared. And so one activity in preparation for this solar eclipse is to focus on the things that you learned the past 6 months. Why? Because we need to become strong. It's like we've had a what do you call those teachers? A substitute teacher, and now the real teacher is back. So we need to like show up with our notes and like all our learnings and really own what we've learned and show that we've implemented a new side of us. And also focus on a lot of gratitude, because despite whatever you went through, we had a really crazy Mercury retrograde this past September. Pluto went direct. I think someone else went direct. I know Pluto, Mercury, Saturn, and then we have Mars going retrograde later this month. But I won't go into that just yet. So tomorrow, it's not your typical new moon where we start a whole new lunar cycle. It's more about reflection and being comfortable in our shadows, in the darkness. So it's a good time for you to look within and not fear looking at the dark parts of you, but going in to reflect on all that you've learned, all that you're grateful for, and ask yourself, what has gotten in the way unconsciously for you going after what you're seeking or after? Because we sometimes are driven by those unconscious behaviors, but we don't realize it because they're unconscious, subconscious. So we are becoming more conscious as we elevate ourselves, which, by the way, as a group, we have become more light-bodied energy. We've received a lot more solar flares, and we are changing rapidly. If you've been extra tired or food has not been hitting you the same way as before, like certain things you like, you don't like anymore. If you are getting more intuitive gifts, you're able to access more information a lot quicker. It's because you are ascending. It's happening. And if you haven't really been focused on that, you may have still felt those effects, but this specific solar eclipse is going to help push you over the edge. So those that have been doing the work, like just hang out, be in the darkness, talk to your shadows, and think about all you've learned. Like this is a homework assignment for tomorrow, basically. So it's going to be a very a softer one compared to the lunar one that's coming. Even though it's Scorpio, and Scorpio is very intense, but Venus is now in Scorpio, and so is Mercury, and we just had that whole Venus star alignment where Venus is aligned with the star, and it's giving all this good energy. A lot of the planets are direct, so it really ought to be a good one, unless you really haven't allowed things to change within you. Spirit is redirecting us, putting us on new paths, and just repositioning. You need to allow that to happen, because I tell my clients all the time, like, what's meant for you is going to happen. We just refuse to see the signs or learn the lessons or accept the gifts because we're hanging on with all that we got to the patterns and conditioning that we have been programmed by. And we are creatures of habit, right? Like, who wants to change all the time? But unless you feel pressure, you don't change. We could say that we want to be proactive about our change, and many of us are, because there's disciplinary people that are that way, and they achieve a lot of goals, and they're always making things happen. But I'm speaking to the internal work. I'm speaking to the spiritual aspects, the part that we ignore because it's not a cool thing to work on your spirit or your soul. Oh, I'm going to go do meditating and work on some soul work or do my rituals. It's not a thing. Although it's becoming more and more, people are way more interested than ever before. It is so beautiful to see as it unfolds. But just be tomorrow and think about what limited you. So that's what the Scorpio solar eclipse is going to be about. It's going to help some more death and rebirth take place. But again, if you've done a lot of the work, you know what to expect. This is going to be a cake. Don't even sweat it. And then the blood lunar eclipse, which is full moon in Taurus, it's about what we are valuing now. So we had it flipped. We had a Venus Taurus solar eclipse back in April, I believe, because I threw a party at one of my sister's homes, so I remember that clearly. And so now it's flipped. Now it's the full moon is going to have the aspect of Taurus. So Taurus is about love. It's about finances. It's about what we value. And we're being taught these past 6 months, what do we value more now? How do we value love? How do we value relationships? So think about how different has your mindset changed since even 6 months ago. Do you value the things the same way? How have your relationships changed? What are you looking for now in a relationship? Have you outgrown relationships that no longer serve you? It's become more concrete now. So whatever was planted 6 months ago in those eclipses, you're going to see now it come to true form. So even like physical manifestations that you planted then, you're going to see now. That's going to call in more soulful relationships, which means that some soul ties will be broken and contracts. That's going to cause us to become more in inspired creativity, to do work that we're passionate about rather than what we're supposed to do or what we're just feeling stuck in doing. We have choices. And also, as a collective, the dynamics around money is going to change. And the blood lunar eclipse is on November 8th, the same day as the election. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to show us change. Some may see it as positive, some may see it as negative. And those of you that know me, I'm about the universal law of oneness, where we are not separate. There is no left or right. There's no good or bad. We are connected, and the negatives and the positives that we perceive are all part of us. So therefore, we need to love all the aspects. We are not bypassing based on what we've been conditioned by to be separate. We have been taught to be divided. And even women, per se, because I work with a lot of women groups, what would we be like if we all worked well together and not in separation, not in competition or hierarchy? Who would we be as a collective if we stood in our love and our joy? You cannot stand in your power if your heart is not open. So anything positive that you're brewing in your life will not come into physical form if your heart is not in the right place. It may, but not for long. It's ego-based. It's driven by the wrong intention. So with that, know that everything that you focus on, you bring about. So focus on all the goodness, all the things you're grateful for. Focus on all the things you value. Focus on all the growth that you've already had take place for you. And be that person that you know you've been morphed into. We have so many deaths and rebirths. It's not even funny. I just had a Moon Nike class I just started last week, and we shed skin over and over, and each time we welcome a new version of ourselves, and that's okay. We're not meant to stay the same. So I'm going to pull a couple of cards and just see what we need to connect with as a collective. The first deck is going to be the Wisdom of the Shadow deck that was created by my priestess who trained me, Jessica Richetti. So shout out to Jessica and her beautiful deck. It's not one of those decks that you look at and smile. It makes you think about your shadows and the depths of your darkness. So what do we need to focus on as a collective? Breathe. The old you's gone. Old relationships are gone. Old patterns. It's okay to grieve, but then move forward. This is the new you. It's time to step into that light of the new you. That one didn't really jump out. Let's get another shadow card for what does the collective need to work on as a collective shadow. That one jumped out on the floor. Excuse me. Judgment. This is a big one. Our ego loves to pass judgments and point fingers and criticize. Judgment isn't a bad word because we do need to use discernment to determine what feels in alignment with us. So that's, judging what's best for you, right, at that moment. But if you feel that you need to judge others, that means there's a part of you that is feeling judged inside, or you're judging yourself. One of the biggest things that I work with all the time is self-worth and self-acceptance. People come to me, and even like the youngins, the teenagers, they just want to be accepted by who they are and not what they think that you want them to be. They just want that love and acceptance, and so do we. So if you catch yourself judging, retract back, cancel, clear, and release, and bring it back home. Because we're all imperfectly perfect, and we're all work in progress. So I'm going to pull just a couple of tarot cards. What advice do we have to give to the collective? Knight of Pentacles. We are beginning to see the value of things differently. We're moving in a new direction. We are setting our sights into a new way, and we're forming different kinds of abundance. So those of you that are ready to redirect yourselves, we're headed in the right direction. Hermiting, this is what we're asked to do for tomorrow with the solar eclipse. Go within, connect to Scorpion energy, transmute, transcend, transform. The King of Pentacles. Inside of us, we have ideas, we have grounding, we have the ability to create massive abundance. The King of Pentacles is grounded. I think a lot of our ladies would love to have a King of Pentacles. I'll take that over an Emperor anytime, because they are very connected. They're connected to their hearts, their souls, and they're also highly abundant. But there's a King of Pentacles that we are transforming into. We're valuing life differently, and we're going after our goals in a different way. Those of you that are not subscribed, please do so and hit the bell if you're feeling my vibe so far. Also, under my website, I'm going to be having like new electronic e-courses and knowledge classes where we learn about different things. And one of the ones is reaching your goals with the lunar cycles and the cosmic energy. I come from the corporate world, and one thing that's always been instilled in us is, what do you got? What did you achieve? How productive were you? So I'm going to teach those people and anyone that's in between how to achieve things using the cycles of the moon and working with the collective energies. Because doesn't it make sense to go with the energy, with the currents, than go against it? Because that will help you harness it much easier and more effectively achieve what you want. It just makes sense, and it's been working for me. So I want to share the love. I'm going to pull some angel cards. High-end intuition, definitely. I said that's one of the things that you're seeing. It's like spooky, scary how gifted the intuition is becoming. So be extra aware and trust your inner knowing, because we are advancing, and that's nothing to fear. Letting go of control, letting go of fear, letting go of egoic tendencies, Let it all go. It's not worth it. I'm going to pull one of these angel therapy cards, and then we're going to get a divine feminine card. Heart chakra. The answer that you seek is in your heart right now. Be open to giving and receiving love. You know, we take that heart for granted. It has like 40,000 neurons. I think I've said this before. All the answers are in here. That's connected to our soul. We're always 3 deep breaths away from going within to our heart and tapping in to our inner spirit. Our soul that's connected with us from lifetime to lifetime. The answers are there. But we forget to access it sometimes. But we all have that power. It's not just me or my fellow lightworker people. We all have the power. This has been coming up often about healing the motherline, the ancestral work, the motherline growing up. And I feel called to share something today. For those out there that have abandonment wounds from their mother. If you didn't grow up being loved by your mother, or your mother wasn't present, or your mother didn't keep you, or you lost your mother, or your mother was highly wounded and could not show up for you the way you deserved or needed. I want to tell you that there are beautiful cosmic mothers energetically that we can work with and call in. I love working with Mother Isis, Cosmic Mother. I have her here in my altar. We have Mother Mary in the Christian religion, Kuan Yin, Mary Magdalene, Hathor. We all are connected to a cosmic mother. And while we have a birth mother, we need to remember that they too may have had wounds and couldn't show up. And yes, your abandonment wound is huge. It causes you to become codependent on addictions or people or lovers. It can show up in many ways. Attachment issues and codependency and self-worth are the big ones. The cosmic mothers are here with us. They are supporting us. And they will never leave us. And now I just want you to know, as this whole video took a turn, that if you're out there holding a big abandonment wound related to the mother, I am sending you so much heart energy right now. If you know someone that has a big wound, it could be a best friend, your spouse, hold space and love for them, because it's a big wound. So now just receive this energy that I'm sending you. Just a mini transmission straight to your heart chakra, knowing that you are lovable, you are safe, you are supposed to be here, you are meant to be here, you are beautiful, and you are a child of God and the cosmos, and you too have been blessed with beautiful gifts. that the world needs to see. So take time and heal that inner child that didn't receive that nurturance. Reparent that part of you that didn't receive the love. You can heal it. I promise. So with that, may you know this eclipse season is here to redirect you into the life that you want, the life of your dreams, the love of your dreams, the finances you've always desired, the home, the situations, and regardless of what's going on in that external world, regardless of all the crumblings, because you will see them, focus on your energetic management. Stop listening to people that do not have or do not walk in the lights that you're after. And make yourself a priority. And know that you are worthy of the healing and the love and the blessings. If you feel called to reach out and work with me individually, I offer healing sessions, readings, coaching, whatever it is. I create whatever alchemy session you need for you. And I am sending you so much love. Be well, dear Earthlings.